Hello and welcome to the first video on the StrataScratch Solve Real Problems with SQL series. Right, let's just get straight into it with the first problem. So the first problem we have is count the number of movies that Abigail Breslin was nominated for an Oscar. So first things first, we have to check out the data. We have just one single table. And we have the first thing we want to understand is what a row represents. In this case, it seems like each row is a nominee, so a name. This is a nominee, and then we have all the other details revolve around that. So now that we figured that one out, we want to see what do we have to do? Count the number. So clearly we have to use a count number of movies here. Okay, so it's a movie list. Okay, so this we have to count the number of movies where Abigail Breslin was nominated for an Oscar. So we're gonna select count distinct movie. We're going to select the distinct amount of movies. It doesn't say here specifically that we should look for distinct, but why would we want to look for duplicates anyway? It's a bit unclear. I'll just go with this one. Now the name is Oscar nominees, and we just want to see where the nominee, this one, Abigail Breslin, that is our filtering criteria. That will be the nominee equals, and we have to use these apostrophes here because this is a string. So let's review this. We're going to select the count of the distinct movies from our table where the nominee is Abigail Breslin. Let's check it out. And we have just one. Now we got here count distinct movie. That's pretty ugly. Let's just say as movie count. Run the code, and now it just looks a little bit better, more descriptive. We have one. Now let's see. This is the correct solution. Let's see how they did it. Probably not so different. So yeah, that's the solution. It's the same. It's pretty simple. Problem number 2. Let's see. First, let's just not even read it. Let's just look at the table to understand what the table is. Housing units. So we have regions here. US is probably a country. Housing units completed. So completed housing units in the US, and it seems to be filtered by, it seems to be based around the month and the year, and then the amount of housing units per region. Okay, now let's see what we have to do. Find the total number of housing units completed for each year. Completed for each year. Okay, so that sounds like a sum. Output the year. Let's just start from there. Select year. From, what's the name of this? From, let's just write the basics. Or from, or select from statement. Then what do we have to do? Order by year. We have to order by year. We could say ascending here, or we don't have to really mention it because it's by default is ascending. So we're going to select the year for each year. When we see something like for each year, that should give us a clue that this is a group by. We're going to group by year and order by year ascending. Now we need to figure out the total number of housing units. Now so it's going to take 2006 here, and then we need the sum of these. The sum of this column plus the sum of this column plus the sum of Midwest plus the sum of Northwest. So we're just going to write, we could write like plus sum of South plus sum of West plus sum of Midwest plus sum of Northeast east. So this would work if I wrote it. Yeah. So this would work, but there's an easier way to write this entire statement. We're just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. We could just write one single sum and then say south. Can I type? South plus west plus midwest plus northeast. So these two lines, they are exactly the same here. These two lines here, they're identical. And we'll be using this one because it's shorter. And we're going to say as, we don't even have to mention it actually. So let's just use it, total housing units. I'm going to run this code. Oops, I selected by accident. Okay, so this is the answer. Let's see if this is correct. And yes, it was correct. Let's check out their official solution. And it's the same. Okay, third problem. Let's see here. What do we have? Let's check out first the table. Worker. It seems to be a table about employees. Worker ID and then details about each worker. Okay, that was pretty easy. Now what do we have to do? Combine the first and last names. Okay, so let's just say select from first. I'm just gonna copy paste your worker. Combine first last names with the space. It doesn't show us what to output specifically, so it's probably we just have to output just the combination. So now to do that, we have to use the concat function. And in this function, we want to use, for example, if we use just first name, last name, like this, it's just going to combine them straight up. But we also need a space here. It even says with a space in between. So we simply just add another argument here. So you see here we have, this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. We have three now. 1, 2, 3. And now when we run it again, we're going to have here 1, this is the second one, 3. And it's exactly what we're supposed to do. So let's see if we got this. And we did. The solution. And there's just one solution. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And the fourth problem for today. We have the same table, it seems, or very similar. It's called worker again. Let's just write our statement here. Find all workers, so all of the entries that work in a specific department. So to translate in SQL, we have to think like find all workers. Well, we know a worker is a row, so basically find all rows, and we have to filter by the admin department. So where in this column, it has to be, my bad, it has to be the admin. So we're going to say where department equals. So for example, here, if we write the like, then we're going to catch all of them. If they're like capitalized or not, uppercase or lowercase, we're going to catch both of them if we use like. So this is safer to use. And let's see what we got. Seems everything is correct. Let's check their solution. It seems it's basically the same. But it would work if we also write it like this, admin, because that's exactly how it is. So last problem for this video. First, let's check out what our data is. It seems to be the same data we just used before. Each row seems to be a person and then some details about them. Okay, let's see. Find all workers who joined on February 2014. Now let's deconstruct this. Find all workers. We know a worker is a row. So find all rows where the date, in this case joining date, is February 2014. So we have a find all rows. So we're going to select everything, all the workers from worker, where now we have to do a filter. Now we can do this filter in multiple ways. This is one of the ways. We are going to extract the year from the date, because this date, if we look at it, we even have the hours here, though it seems to be the same. So we have, this is the format. it's a date and time here. So we're going to extract the year, which is going to be 2014. And then we're going to extract the month, which is going to be 02. And these are all the entries where the year is 2014 and we have the month is February. Coincidentally, we also have the same day. Now, there's also another way we can write this. We can write where joining date more or equal than 2014-02 and joining date less than equal than 2014-03. 02, 28. So we can write it either like this or like this. It's basically, it does exactly the same thing. Just that this is just more easier to write. We don't have to manually count how many days a month has. This, if I would have to choose, I would definitely choose this one. So we will delete this one. We're just gonna comment it out. And we're gonna run this. We're gonna check the solution. There's just 3 entries. We're gonna check their solution, and it seems they also used the year and the month. So that was for this video, guys. If you enjoy this series and want to create an account, please consider using the affiliate link in the description below. Thank you and see you on to the next one.